So this is September 2019, and we are ready for the second global climate strike. Here in Canada, Vancouver, BC. I just want to share a few experiences at the second global climate strike. It was very big. So the climate change actually was supposed to start at 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and I thought I had some time. And of course I was planning to share some literature as well. But then, well, I left actually on time. But what happened is that all the buses were packed. The Sky Train was full to the max. You could see these young people that they want something to change. They want a decided change in the politics of the world, because of course they believe the narrative that we have that the emissions of gases causes climate change, and so governments should stop producing or allowing industries or companies that produce these gases for profits. And you can see different signs that they had sharing their concerns really about that they want a global change. Climate change is viewed now as the one single threat that is facing all humanity. Everybody has to be involved to solve the problem, and so it was a very interesting day. For me, it was an opportunity to learn what's going on and also share some few thoughts, and of course spark interest in prophecy, because prophecy has a lot to say about climate change, or climate change has a lot to do with prophecy. Either way, like we will see in a minute here, that it is these calamities. Even now in the United States, many preachers and pastors, evangelicals are saying that these calamities that are happening is actually God's vengeance upon America, for instance, because it is becoming more and more wicked. And of course, because of the legislation of legalization of things that the Bible deems as sin. For example, abortion, and also same-sex marriage. And so they are saying that these things are causing these calamities.
Protection off your nation, and whap, here comes storms like we've never seen before, and here comes floods and here comes the climate stuff that we can't explain, all the hot times and all the cold times, and too much rain and not enough rain, and we're flooding over here and we got droughts over here. And you know, back in the early America days when something like that happened, first thing they did was issue a call for a national prayer day of repentance, humiliation, fasting, and prayer. We have screwed up somewhere. We've got to get God's help to get blessings back on this nation. And they would humble themselves before God. And today we're saying, oh no, it's global warming. That's what
all you have to do is look at history to see what God does with a nation that sanctions the killing of its own children. God will not allow sin to go unpunished, and he certainly won't allow the sacrifice of children to go unpunished.
Even bigger and broader than that, the Pope has suggested that these things, that the solution rather to these problems is Sunday, or he's looking for a more spiritual approach to the issue. And of course, he has political, economic, lifestyle changes that he's advocating, but the heart of it is what he calls the Sabbath. Interesting though, it's the Sunday Sabbath, which is not the true Sabbath according to the Bible. So I was here sharing. Of course, it was not very successful. This was my first time actually going out and interviewing people, speaking with people, and sharing a few thoughts. I exchanged dialogue with. I exchanged a few words with a certain individual, and he was very much interested. And also had to do this small interview here, asking the people why are they doing this. Now, the interesting thing is, these young people are doing this because, of course, they're afraid of the future. But I'm calling everyone to study what prophecy has to say. Read the book of Revelation chapter 13. Look at those two beasts, study them, find out the number of the name of the beast, the 666, what does it mean? And you will have a broader understanding of where the world is going. Truth is, the word of God has predicted that Jesus will come and save his own. One very interesting point is that climate change is based on science, which is heavily loaded with evolutionary concepts. And so many people are without hope because they don't even believe in God. But this prophecy here that I will share with you, it's just to open your mind to see that there's actually a bigger connection between prophecy and climate change, and that God is interested in your welfare and he wants you to know the truth so that you'll be better prepared for what is coming ahead. In the book of Revelation chapter 13, we are introduced to a very interesting story. It's a very terrific story actually. So there's a mention of two beasts that rise out of the earth. The first one rises out of the sea, and it has this amazing description. It has 10 horns and 7 heads and all these different combination of animalistic natures applied to it. And then you have the second beast, which rises out of the earth. What's interesting is that the second beast causes all the earth to worship the first beast, and power is given to this beast that it should cause both rich and poor, both small and great, to worship the mark of the beast. In so much that those who will not worship the mark of the beast will be killed and persecuted. Now, this is a prophecy about persecution. I'm just going to read it for you here in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which is simply 666. Now, what's fascinating to me is how will this be implemented actually? And there are two prophecies that I'm going to be reading from that can help us understand what is going on here, and of course how it ties in with climate change as well. Reading from the book Great Controversy, page 418, I believe, paragraph 5. It says here that while appearing to the children of men as a great physician who can heal all their maladies, he will bring disease and disaster until populous cities are reduced to ruin and desolation. Even now, he is at work in accidents and calamities by sea and by land, in great conflagrations, in fierce tornadoes and terrific hailstorms, in tempests, floods, cyclones, tidal waves, and earthquakes, in every place and in 1,000 forms. Satan is exercising his power. He sweeps away the ripening harvest, and famine and distress follow. He imparts to the air a deadly taint, and thousands perish by the pestilence. These visitations are to become more and more frequent and disastrous. Destruction will be upon both man and beast. And the great deceiver will persuade men that those who serve God are causing these evils. The class that have provoked the displeasure of heaven will charge all their troubles upon those whose disobedience to God's commandment is a perpetual reproof to transgressors. It will be declared that men are offending God by the violation of the Sunday Sabbath, that this sin has brought calamities which will not cease until Sunday observance shall be strictly enforced, and that those who present the claims of the fourth commandment, thus destroying reverence for Sunday, are troublers of the people, preventing their restoration to divine favor and temporal prosperity. Thus the accusation urged of old against the servant of God will be repeated, and upon grounds equally well established. So this is very interesting, showing us how those who do not keep, or those who do not observe the Sunday Sabbath, will be deemed as enemies of progress. They'll be deemed as the ones who are causing calamities, the ones who are causing the natural disasters, the ones who are causing the displeasure of God to be inflicted. But all the while, the devil is the one causing all these natural calamities and all these disasters. Another important prophecy I want to share with you is found from the Southern Watchman, and it was written June 28th, 1904. It says that men in responsible positions will not only ignore and despise the Sabbath themselves, but from the sacred desk will urge upon the people the observance of the first day of the week, pleading tradition and custom in behalf of this man-made institution. They will point to calamities on land and sea, to the storms of the wind, the floods and the earthquakes, the destruction by fire, as judgments indicating God's displeasure because Sunday is not sacredly observed. These calamities will increase more and more. One disaster will follow close upon the heels of another, and those who make void the law of God will point to the few who are keeping the Sabbath, the true Sabbath, as found in the fourth commandment, as the ones who are bringing wrath upon the Lord. This falsehood is Satan's device that he may ensnare the unwary. So again, we see that Sunday observance is where everything is leading to. This climate change thing, all these marches. Thing is, it's happening in the dark. Nobody really realizes it. But as we have seen in the Pope's encyclical Laudato Si, that he is proposing that Sunday is actually the solution to climate change. And of course, we also seen priests saying that actually climate change is a spiritual problem. And this is why I'm so much the more interested in this topic, to see where it is leading and also to be prepared to face what is coming ahead. Persecution is where we are leading to, where the few who are actually keeping the true Sabbath will be deemed as the enemies, and then there will be this enforcement of the Sunday law that everybody should worship on Sunday, everybody should rest on Sunday. This has happened in the past, and that's why we are so much the more sure that it will happen again, and the Bible prophecy has predicted. Now, if you're wondering how does this all link, well, the last verse we read said that if you have wisdom, you can count the number of the name of this beast. This beast is a man. That's what it says in Revelation 13:18, that the number is it's a number of a man. His name adds up to 666. If you want to know more about that, please visit a link in the description below. But here's what's important for me to mention. All these climate change movements that are happening in the world are leading to a greater and global unity where everybody will come together as one, and then it will be easy to implement Sunday observance. Another key point I want to mention is the power and influence of the youth and the young in the last days. Young people have greater power, and the devil will use young people, or the devil will be happy when young people employ their energies to something that will end up being his profit. And so I just wanted to share that with you today, and I hope that you have yourself a great week and stay awake on what is going on in the world.